Let me present to you something extremely embarrassing. I don't know if you can see my face is red. Can you see it looks red? So yesterday I went and had this procedure done on my face. And it was all like everything that happens to me when I do that kind of stuff is like not planned. You know, like a friend of mine, Carly, at the National Hair Loss Institute, which now they do all kinds of stuff. Now they used to just focus on if you're losing your hair, make your hair thicker and all that. And they do all that, but they also now do IV drips. They do whatever I just did in my face. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's where they take a laser or whatever, and they burn your face off and then they rub stuff in your face. It's a name that we use all the time, but I get it mixed up with, there's microdermabrasion and then there's this.
Microneedling?
Microneedling. Is that it? Is that what I did? Does that sound like it? What's the tattoo one?
Blading.
No.
That's the one with the eyebrows.
Well, either way, I think I did microneedling.
Microaggression?
Micro outburst. So, micro penis, that's me too.
All of that. I got them all done.
So anyway, I got my whole face burned, right? I mean, it was bright red. It's still red right now. I mean, burned. Now, my son, Dutch, is working on a homecoming float. He's been working all day, and it's a big secret, whatever the homecoming float is. He's been working on it for a week. So I'm also, at the time, was driving this Lamborghini for this charity event that's on Saturday. It's called Cars and Canines. It's at D Pet Hotel, and you have a lot of cars and dogs that are up for adoption, and it's this beautiful event. And they give me a different car to drive all the time to help promote the event, right? So I was with the Rolls Royce, I was in a Lamborghini, and then I was in another Lamborghini. And then yesterday it was like, hey, come switch it out and come pick up a McLaren, right? So, like, all right. So I go get the McLaren. I don't really have to deal with anybody, so they don't have to see my face, right? So I get in the McLaren. I fit, surprisingly, right? Which is weird. So I'm driving this McLaren around. My wife's with me, and she says, let's go stop by. Now, when I get in the McLaren, by the way, the doors are up. My wife gets in and the engine's on, right? So we both get in the McLaren and we take off. She goes, let's go see Dutch and check out the float. I'm like, okay. So I'm driving to the house where Dutch is working on the homecoming float. Park outside. And I wait in the car, and she gets out and goes looks at the float. And then she's like, come inside. Come look at the float. And I'm like, I don't need to see the float. You know what I mean? I'll see it in the parade or whatever. And she's like, come inside. So I'm like, all right. So I hit the stop button on the car. It's a little button. And I get out. You got to open the car door. The doors go up, you know, like a McLaren, like a
butterfly.
Like a butterfly.
That seems like a hard car to learn how to drive.
It's not, but to get out of the car, it's a hard drive. It's hard to get out of the car. So I can't get out of the car. I get out of the car. I go look at the float. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a float. Right. Great. And then, all right, we'll see you guys later. And it's kind of hot yesterday. And I'm wearing jeans and I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. And I'm like, all right, see you guys later. And there's all these kids from high school working on the float, 10, 15 kids. And I'm parked like uncomfortably in the driveway. Like, you know what I mean? Like if a car backs out, I'm in the way. And I'm only parked there because I wasn't going to park there. I was just pulling up, right? So get back into the McLaren, and I press the start button, and it won't start. Now, my face is beat red already, right? So I look like a monster, and it won't start. And I'm pushing the button, and I have the keys in the cup holder. And my immediate thought is, they started this car for me when I got in it, and they gave me the wrong keys.
That's what I would think.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not like that the battery died or something?
No, not the battery died. It was that I think I have the wrong keys. And I'm like stressed now because I'm in the way of these people's houses, and there's a McLaren, and this car stands out. Cars are now driving by. Now all these kids are coming out of the house, and they're looking at the car, and I'm trying to be cool, like, yeah, take a picture of the car, that's cool. And then I'm on the phone. Blake's on the phone trying to call the dealership, right? And and then Dutch comes out. He's like, what's with your face? Why is your face all... I go, I did a thing, and all these kids are, oh, they love the car. You get any pictures of the car? Yeah. And then I said to Dutch, I go, now, because Dutch he loves cars. And I said, he goes, is something wrong? He says, is the car stuck? And I'm like, I can't get it to start. I don't know why. And he goes, give me the keys, bro. And I'm like, all right. He gets in the car, and it starts.
What did he do? What's the difference?
The kid is 17.
What did he do?
I said, what did you do? And he goes, you just can't tap the button, Dad. You got to hold it down. Because I was like, tap. Because in the Lamborghini, you tap it.
Oh, my goodness.
This, you got to hold the button down for like a second. And I'm like drenched in sweat.
I bet.
My face is beat red. The sweat is burning my skin. I'm trying, and I go, okay, that's cool. And then I got to get in the car in front of these people. And me getting in this car is an ordeal.
It's
right?
kind of super low to the ground,
Yeah,
right?
I'm 6'4". This car is like 2 feet tall. And I'm just getting in the car. I gotta be like, oh God. And then because my jeans are so tight, I could barely, it was just awful. Awful. And I get up close and he's like, and in front of all his friends, you got it, Dad, anytime you need help. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. So it was just,
this is why we don't have cool stuff like this at the house.
So mortifying.
press a button.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Maybe you're just not the supercar guy.
I'm not. I'm definitely not a McLaren guy. But anyway, the McLaren and other McLarens will be at Cars and Canines at D-Pet Hotel.
They are pretty to look at.